how do you talk about it? It's such a huge subject, isn't it? So there's a lot in it, in that subject. So I'd like to do some truth-telling, my truth, that is, about beauty. Beauty is a much bigger subject than youthful beauty. You know, beauty is, eternal. It's just one of those things. It speaks to us, it speaks to our soul. But youthful beauty, yes, it passes. And we change, Thank God we do, that we grow into ourselves and into our strengths and become more than just what we look like, Well, it was 1975 and Picnic at Hanging Rock was a very different film for the time. And to play Miranda, one of the schoolgirls who disappeared on Hanging Rock in Joan Lindsay's novel, in the film at that time, was, it was special. It felt important. And yes, I think I did understand what I was doing, who Miranda was and what she represented.
Miranda! Miranda! Miranda, don't go up there! Come back!
I think one of the reasons that people still occasionally, even at this stage in my life, recognise me is because that image just gets shown over and over and over again. I didn't grow up feeling like I was beautiful. I was very focused on all my flaws. But as I got older and started working, I became aware that others thought that I was beautiful. I felt incredibly self-conscious and shy, I felt uncomfortable with the attention and with the gaze.
I know that Miranda is a Botticelli angel.
Picnic makes reference to the Botticelli Venus and Miranda is a Botticelli angel or whatever that moment. And so people after that film were always giving me things with the Botticelli Venus on them. Everything from tea towels to statues. And when I finally saw her at the gallery in Florence, I stood up, on the other side of the room, and I just felt terribly, sad for her or something. She's got these sad eyes, and so she's been carrying the projections and the fantasies and the expectations of people for hundreds of years. She just looks tired. I felt really moved by it. And in my minuscule kind of version of that, I knew what that was like.
When did you think to yourself, oh, this whole beauty thing is just bullshit?
It wasn't even particularly around beauty, it was more just around the powerlessness and the time wasting of being an actor. I guess I'd had enough of that. And I didn't want it to be all about me all the time. I didn't want it to be in focus. So she's staring down the barrel of the camera, but yeah. And so I became a psychotherapist. When I started working as a psychotherapist, I actually started mostly working with creative people. And then often the issue of addiction came up. And so I started to focus and specialise in addiction. And then underneath addiction is almost always trauma. And so I specialised and started working with trauma. At times, I think, particularly now, working with young women a lot, with all kinds of anxiety issues and body dysmorphia and eating disorders and self-esteem issues, who are often sitting opposite me looking, you know, just gloriously, youthfully beautiful, just naturally beautiful. But somehow thinking they're not enough, or they're not perfect enough, or they're not, you know, their teeth aren't white enough, or their lips aren't big enough, or their breasts aren't big enough, or whatever. And they're not thin enough, that's the big one. They're looking for their value in somebody else's eyes. I wish that every woman, every young man would look at their strengths, look at their gifts, look at their character, strengths and virtues, as they say. And we grow self-esteem by doing esteemable things. You know, it's the doing of it, you know. Becoming our own person. That's what's important. It is no accident that I found my way here. It's hours from everywhere. I just love this place. Talk about beauty. I have to drive down often to work, and every single time that I drive, it's always different, and it's always beautiful, and I haven't gotten used to it. It's like, oh my God, look at that mountain, or look at that light through the trees, or the mist, or the snake on the road, or the dingo, or the whatever. It's just beauty everywhere, and I feel drenched in it. On some level, I think there's nothing bullshit about beauty. I mean, beauty is beauty is beauty. Nobody ever says that's not a very beautiful rainbow. There are different kinds of beauty. And I think that's what's important to sort of understand, particularly as you age or change. And also to understand that our true value lies in here, it's inside us, you know. That's where the preciousness is.